Welcome to 2 Cents Short of a Dollar, the show where we give our 2 cents and keep it 100. We're your hosts. That's Motiz, and I'm Rue. And the words of my man Lead to the VI. Back again, back again, back again. I know it's been a little minute, y'all, but we're here. We didn't quit. You know what I mean? So we still here, but just want to talk about some boxing news and things that went on recently. I want to start today with Jaron Boots Ennis. So he had the fight against Jaron Shukan. This was the second time they fought now, and Boots fails to stop Jaron Shukan once again. Now, in the midst of the fight, I think there was a lot of things going on, right? And I think there's no debating that Boots won that fight. But what do you make of his performance? And I think we have to put the question on the table: is Boots overrated?
I mean, I'm going to answer that question in a minute, but based off of my initial assessment on Boots' performance, I do think in that fight, Jaron came more prepared compared to the first fight. I think he was more aggressive. He did move, but he moved and he also threw in certain pockets. Of course, he got hit more and had to take a knee at one point after he got hurt. So Boots definitely won the fight, but I think Jaron just gave more resistance this time around. What I was surprised about to a degree was how Jaron seemed to be one step ahead of Boots at times when they were exchanging punches. You know, it was only like certain variation. It was only certain rounds that this happened. But the fact that, Jaron was just, seemed like he was a bit smarter at times. So I'll give Jaron some credit there. It just seemed like Boots just was more talented, just had more upside in the physicals, and ultimately that got him the win. I wouldn't say Boots is overrated. I think he's perfectly rated because he's clearly the best fighter at 147 pounds, if I'm being completely honest. I just see that there's things that he needs to work on, right? But there's just a chink there for him. But I also feel like for Boots, and I'll end it here, I think Boots' defense starts to go down when he doesn't respect his opponent's power. He's willing to, especially if he looks for the finish, if he's looking to finish you off, he's willing to take a couple punches just to get the stoppage,
Coming into this, Boots high expectations, right? But I guess what I'm trying to get at here is I don't know if overrated is the right term, but I do think he may have been anointed a little bit too early, right? A lot of people saying like this guy is the next best thing ever, and he could be the next best thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the hand speed is real, the power is real, the athleticism is real, the switch hitting is fluid. You know what I'm saying? So the tools are completely there. But I mean, give him a chance. The dude is 27 years old now. He's trying to go after the best competition. I genuinely believe him when he says that. So give him a chance to kind of flow through. But talent, nah, dude, he's not overrated. He's the real deal. I'll tell you this though, and this might be a little controversial. If I come away from this thinking anybody's overrated, I would say it's Bozy. Because
Boots Ennis is overrated as a coach.
If I had to come away with this saying someone is overrated, I would say Bozy. Because
why you say that?
People have been hyping Bozy up about how good he is, and I know even it's been floated around like, yo, Errol would be a beast with Bozy as a trainer. So, so people just been like, Bozy, and this is not to say he's not a good trainer, but when Boots is coming to the corner, you're like, yo, man, what are you doing, man? Get him out of there. Get him out of there round after round. Get him out of like that's not advice. That's not advice, you know what I'm saying? And Boots, in my personal opinion, before Bozy started doing that, he was doing better because he was switching up the attack, going to the head, going to the body, doing different things. But Bozy, get him out of there. And now he's headhunting. Now he's going after it. He's not fighting as natural anymore. Now you see Jaron looking a step ahead, countering Boots, kind of stumbling Boots a couple times as well. Like you said, Jaron did come more prepared, more ready to fight in this one in terms of fighting me, like toe-to-toe fighting, kind of like what he did in round 12 of the first fight, right? But I think Boots was torn between wanting to, work and slowly break this guy down versus feeling the pressure of Bozy saying, yo, get him out of there. Like, what are you doing? And it sounds very reminiscent of the David Avanesian fight where, Bozy was telling him again, yo, get him out of there. But you're not telling him like, yo, do this to cut off the ring to stop him from moving. So when you do the body attack, you're slowing him down, and then it's going to open up a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
these aren't the kind of coaching advice you're saying. You're just telling them to get him out of there. And at the
Right.
highest level, I mean, we can assume that it'll change. That's not what they'll do, right? But that's not going to work. You're not going to fight Terrence Crawford and just be telling him, get him out of there, and expect, yo, all right, I'm about to flip this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't practice those bad habits now.
Yeah. I mean, fair point. Fair point. You know, of course, I don't know round by round what he was saying, but I definitely heard him say constantly, like, yo, get him out of there. You know, and like you said before, that's not really giving a fighter much, even if, you know, they have a mind to mind connection, right? It still doesn't really give you much, especially with bringing out an opponent that you're unfamiliar with, especially with a style that you're pretty unfamiliar with. So
Yeah.
I do get that point.
And I think the other thing too, bro, Karen Shukan isn't trash. You know what I'm saying? I know we're not that familiar. We're not that familiar with him, the masses. But just because you're not that familiar with someone, that doesn't make him trash, right? And
Facts.
then, so, but I think that's what it is. Like, oh, they don't know this name. Boots should get him out of here. But that's not necessarily how boxing works. This guy has great stamina, great
conditioning,
right, right. Comes from, you know, the Ukrainian boxing style. So his movement is there. I think he packed a little more pop than people thought as well, just because how he's constantly moving in the first fight. I think he wasn't able to sit down on punches. This fight too, I don't think he really got to sit down on his punches, and it kind of comes with the territory when you move that way, right? But like I said, a couple of times I seen him knock Boots off his balance, stumble Boots. I'm like, all right, this guy has some pop, you know what I'm saying? So he's not trash. In fact, I'm not gonna say I would pick him, but I think a guy like Karen Shukan he could go in there and upset a champion like a Mario Barrios. You know what I'm saying? So
I can see that, especially with Mario Barrios taking a lot of punches, especially in his last fight.
And just the style of moving and, you know, frustrating. So this guy isn't trash, you know what I'm saying? So I think the Boots Overrated narrative should stop. But on to the next thing, what Boots said, and this kind of alarmed me, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. After the fight, he said, yo, I think it's time to move to 54 because extra weight, like I think my punches are carry better. Like saying he would hit harder at 54. But when people start saying stuff like that, I'm wondering, are you insinuating that your weight drained at 47? Is that what you took from his comments?
Yeah, it was odd because, you know, he said he might look to move up, but then, you know, when question was posed about, you know, being weight drained, he said, no, I can make, you know, 147 is not hard to make, you know, but I'm gonna, so I don't know if he's lying and he's actually struggling to make 147 and he's getting to that age, or there's another reason as to why, you know, he wants to move to 154, maybe some level of frustration that he can't get the fights with some of the other champions. And he's like, you know what, let me move up to 154 to make a statement. I'm not sure, you know, I'm kind of duped at this point.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do think he's frustrated not getting the fights, but I do think he's also frustrated in the sense of, like I said, now when Pops puts that extra pressure on you, you already have so much pressure by the world because of how great the kind of greatness they see within you, right? But now when Pops is putting that pressure on you every round, like, you got to get this guy out of here. And like, what are you doing, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like that was the kind of like tone that he had with Boots. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like so now when you don't stop this guy, it's almost like the walk of shame, bro. Like when you're younger, you know what I'm saying? You're younger, you run down on something, you try to talk to something, and it doesn't work out. You got to take that walk of shame back. I feel like him not getting the stoppage was just like the walk of shame. Like, hear this again, man. I ain't get this the second time. And I feel like it made him a little torn on the inside, and he was just like, yo. I think he even questioned himself a little bit, like, why can't I get this guy out of here? Maybe I need to move up, fill out more, and you know the punches are carry more. It's not that. If Karen stood in there all night with you and didn't move, Karen would have got knocked out. The punches are hard. We can tell. You know what I'm saying? But
agree.
I just think, you know, everyone, you're not gonna be able to get everyone out of there, but you know, and the strategy is gonna be different. You know, you got Avanesian out of there, right? So it's not like you're not getting anybody out. You know, you are stopping people. You stopped Roman Villa. You know what I'm
was
saying?
A much larger opponent, but he was a stationary target.
Yeah, Karen Shukan might just be a hard guy to stop. You know what I'm saying? But I'm interested in going to 54 because of the competition up there, right? people are calling for the Virgil Ortiz fight, and I actually see a lot of people changing their tune. A lot of people who've been saying like, "Yo, Boots do this to Virgil, Boots do that to Virgil." They're kind of like changing the tune, and they saying like, "Yo, they think Virgil could get him, bro."
I mean, you know, and it's funny because I think me and you we used to talk about this for years, right? About Virgil and Boots, like, yo, that's a
When they
good
were at
fight
47.
when they are both at 47 still. You know, and I was like leaning towards Virgil, you know, beating Boots, and I know you always like, yeah, nah, Boots is. But over the years, I kind of started leaning towards Boots, you know, and this fight for Karen doesn't change that for me because I do feel like styles make fights. And, you know, Virgil just has a style that he's going to be stationary, right? He's going to force you to fight, but like it's going to come down to who just can hurt who first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, that's a fight I want to see, man. I'll tell you this: if Boots stays at 47, I think he's gonna have a hard time unifying. But if he can't unify, I want to see him fight possibly the biggest name at 47 within his age range, who's probably a Conor Ben, right? So if you stay at 47, let me see him mix it up with like a Conor Ben. But you know, if it's time to move up, go after Virgil, go after, you know, anybody. Like there's a lot of comp at 54. You know what I'm saying? It could be Virgil, it could be Boachuk, it could be Madrimov, it could be Tim Tszyu. Obviously, you know, I know he wants Terrence Crawford. I don't think that would be the first fight at 54 for him. You know what I mean? But
agreed.
if you go to 54, you know, show these guys like, yeah, I'm hunting these guys. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got to say like, yo, you fight a Madrimov and say, look, Crawford, I did better than you against Madrimov. You get a Boachuk out of there. Like, look, you know, Virgil, look how clean I did this compared to, you know, the W that you know what I'm saying? Like, if go in there and make some statements, they got to hear you out. They got to let you in the door. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would
That's
like
the
to
fact.
see from Boots.